more Japanese children's favorite stories. Written by Florence Sakade, illustrated by Yoshio Hayashi. Why the Red Elf Cried.
No one knows now where the mountain was, but once there was a red elf who lived on a mountain that overlooked a village. This red elf wanted to make friends with the people who lived in the village, so in front of his house he hung a sign that read,
"Everybody is welcome to come to my house and eat good candy I will give them."
One day, 2 woodcutters passed the red elf's house and saw the sign. One of them said,
Let's go and get some candy."
But the other said,
No, that sign is only a trick so that elf can get us into his house and do something bad to us. Don't go inside.
The red elf heard what the men said and called out through the windows,
No, it's not a trick. Please come in and have some candy and be my friends.
But the 2 woodcutters were frightened by his bright red face and ran away as fast as they could. When the red elf saw that nobody would believe his sign, he was very sad and started to take the sign down. Just then, his good friend, the blue elf, came to visit and asked why he looked so sad. After the blue elf had heard the story, he thought for a while and then said,
I have a good plan for you. I will go down into the village and make lots of trouble. Then you come and catch me while I am doing bad things and give me a beating. Then everyone will know you're a good elf and will want to be your friend.
The next day, the blue elf went down into the village and burst into a farmhouse. The farmer and his wife were so frightened they ran outside. Then the blue elf started breaking everything in the house. He had just broken the old woman's teapot and was just about to kick the farmer's dog when the red elf came running into the village. He grabbed the blue elf and pretended to give him a good beating. The blue elf cried with all his might. The frightened people of the village stood at a distance and watched all this. Finally, they said,
This red elf is a good elf after all, and he has lots of sweet candy at his house, so let's go and visit him often.
So the village people started going to the red elf's house. He was very happy to have so many new friends, and he always gave them sweet candy and delicious tea. But then one day he suddenly remembered that in all his time, his good friend the blue elf had not once been to see him. Perhaps the blue elf is in some trouble.
Perhaps the blue elf is in some trouble,
he said.
I'll go and see him.
Keep going.
Next day, I'll go and see him.
Next day, the red elf set out for the blue elf's house. It was far away in the mountains, but the red elf went there very quickly, riding on top of a little cloud. To his surprise, he found the blue elf's house empty and all shut up. He walked around the house several times, wondering what was the matter, and finally saw a note pinned on the front door. This is what the note said.
To my dear friend, the red elf, I am so lonely that I am going away on a long journey. If we should keep on visiting each other, the way we used to, the people in the village would know that we played a trick on them and that you didn't really beat me. So I will go far away and leave you with your new friend and village people. Goodbye, your friend, Blue Elf.
The red elf read this note in silence 2 or 3 times. Then he burst into tears and cried and cried.
He had his new friend from the village, and he knew he would be happy with them. But he also knew that he would always be sad when he remembered his lots of friends, the blue elf, because it is good to make new friends, but it is also good to keep old friends.
And this is why the red elf cried so hard. By Hirosuke Hamada. Thank you for reading with us more Japanese children's favorite stories written by Florence Sakade and illustrated by Yoshio Hayashi.